Hello, I wish you a very good evening. Dear students, we can now see feministic perspective of Shakespearean plays. Feminism as a theory has been used to study Shakespeare's plays after 1986. After 1980s. It has brought out wonderful results as feminist and gender study of Shakespeare's plays. It provides the analysis of Shakespeare's patriarchal world. Feminist literary criticism is one of the lens to view the text to analyze the issues of gender and gendered oppression. The researcher can examine women's position and gender relations in family and society. So the feminist theory is applied to criticize literature, though it has been of recent origin. Feminist theory could be applied to the male writers of the bygone ages to see whether the theory fits in the characters of those literary works. We can find the patriarchal narrative in literature. Patriarchal narrative is found in Shakespeare's plays also. Patriarchal ideology has a great influence on literature. So feminist literary criticism can analyze a number of elements in a text. So we can see them one by one. Gendered language and symbols. A language, a special language is used for men to assert their domination. Next one is stereotypical portrayal of female characters. Such female characters have been there from time immemorial. And unconventional female characters are also there in many works. They are different from the traditional type of women, the stereotypical type of women. Next one is the influence of gender of a reader on his or her response to a text. How a male reader responds to a text and how a female reader makes her response to a text. So these elements can be used to analyze a text, to study a text. We can see whether these elements can be found in a text written by a male writer or written by any writer for that matter. So we can identify gendered language, the assertive language of a man, and the symbols in Shakespeare's Henry IV, Part 1. So we see the dominance of male perspective in literature in general, written in his age, in Shakespeare's age, but here especially in Shakespeare's plays also. One of the important characters is Henry Percy. Henry Percy tells his wife, I must not have you henceforth question me, whither I go, nor reason whereabout. And then he mocks at her concern. Henry Percy's wife wanted to save her husband from danger, and she shows her concern. But he ridicules her, he mocks at her kindness and concern. He doesn't like to share the secret with her. He doesn't like to tell her where he is going. He is going to wage a war. He is going to be engaged along with his friends in the civil war. But he tells her he doesn't want to share the secret with her. He tells her, constant you are, but yet a woman, and for secrecy, no lady closer. So it has been among men, even today. Women are incapable of keeping secrets. So we can see the male voice, the patriarchal voice of a husband who wants to control his wife, who wants to keep his wife under control. Shakespeare articulates the views of patriarchal society of women, how the patriarchal society views women. So we can find evidence in Hamlet. Hamlet denounces the hasty marriage of his mother with his uncle after the death of his father. He considers her unstable. So the unstable Gertrude proves her infidelity to her husband, the elder Hamlet. Hamlet denounces her, condemns her with the statement, frailty, thy name is woman. Hamlet has thought of women, has viewed women like this. Hamlet considers a woman a breeder of sinners. So we can see the patriarchal domination over women in the days of Shakespeare that has found its place in Shakespeare's plays. These views are reflected in the dialogue of male characters in Shakespeare's plays. And we have seen the evidence from Hamlet and Henry IV, Part 1. Then we can see the stereotypical female characters in Shakespeare's plays. In those days, men writers find women either angelic or demonic. So this idea has been suggested by Gilbert and Guber in The Mad Woman in the Attic, which was published in 1979. It was given in the book about women, about female characters, especially in the books written by men. The female characters could be either angels or monsters. So this idea fits in some of the plays of Shakespeare. We see the angelic portrayal of Desdemona in Othello. Brabantio tells Othello that Desdemona has been disloyal to him and she'll be disloyal to her husband also. And as Desdemona has married Othello, as she has married, as she has chosen her own partner against the wishes of her father, Brabantio goes to the extent of disowning his own daughter. So we can see another character, such an angelic character, in Ophelia, in Hamlet. So she can be called the embodiment of cherished femininity. Desdemona and Ophelia represent the societal expectations placed upon a woman. They fit in the feminine phase of Elaine Showalter in her work, A Literature of Their Own, published in 1977. Elaine Showalter talks about three phases in feminist canon. Number one is feminine phase, number two is feminist phase, third one is female phase. So in number one, feminine phase, she has identified female characters who satisfy the expectations of the society, how a woman has to be in the family as well as in the society. So we see Ophelia and Desdemona satisfy the societal expectations. When we come to Ophelia, she is torn between her love for Hamlet and her duty to her father and brother. Because of her genuine love for both, for Hamlet as well as her father and brother. And both these two characters, Ophelia and Desdemona, become victims of patriarchal thoughtlessness and ego. Though they are innocent, though they are very virtuous, though they are chaste, they are victimized, they are tortured by those who have loved them. Then the other character, the demonic Lady Macbeth. She taunts her husband towards killing King Duncan. But we have to understand, she does it to fulfill the ambition of her husband to become the King of Scotland after killing Duncan. When Macbeth hesitates to kill him, she is enraged, inflamed by his hesitation. She is she is inflamed, she is enraged by the hesitation of Hamlet. So she asserts, she vows, I have given suck and know how tender it is to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from his boneless gums and dashed his brains out. So after reading these lines that were supposed to have been uttered by Lady Macbeth, we could find the demon in Lady Macbeth. That's why she is called the fourth witch. She feeds Macbeth's ambition with her unwomanly utterance. Can we call it unmotherly utterance? No. Such an utterance cannot be expected from any human being. So it can be called inhuman utterance. She also was victimized. She has become a victim by her own misguidance. Shall we see the unconventional portrayal of female characters? They are not at all docile, not at all submissive, not at all weak, not at all compliant, not at all meek. So, what kind of women are they? They are strong, resourceful, witty, just, assertive, confident, honest. They fit in the female phase of the third phase of show Walter. So these are the characters who are the unconventional type of female characters in Shakespeare's plays. Viola in Twelfth Night, Rosalind in As You Like It, Portia in Merchant of Venice, Beatrice in Much Ado About Nothing. Beatrice is intelligent enough to smell deception in the accusation of Claudio, the lover of Hero. He has accused her of infidelity. But Beatrice knows of the innocence of her cousin. So she stands up for Hero's honor, her cousin's honor. Beatrice protests, "Oh, on my soul, my cousin is belied." The self-determination and witty argument in the trial scene in The Merchant of Venice brings out or picturizes the most resourceful Portia. And Portia's appearance as the judge, as an advocate in the court of Venice, elicits, brings her the commendation from everyone. So she is applauded as a learned judge, an upright judge, a second Daniel. Shall we see the portrait of unconventional women? Can we consider the portrayal of unconventional women projects Shakespeare as a feminist? We can see the third element taken for the study, the influence of the gender of a reader. If the plays of Shakespeare are viewed by a female reader, what can be the response of that reader towards the plays of Shakespeare? But I am sure that a reader's response, both a man and a woman, a man reader or a woman reader's response to the text will be, as we are going to see. Shakespeare portrays women with a kind of fullness and depth. Though being a male writer, he appeals irresistibly to readers and theatre audiences all over the world. Can anybody resist reading the plays of Shakespeare or watching the plays of Shakespeare? even in the modern theatre. Can we think of it so? The introduction of Shakespeare, of the device of cross-dressing, and the disguise of female characters as men in comedies. So it can be called the cross-dressing of a female character can be taken to express the view of Shakespeare to portray women as competent as men. He allows them male dress, male attire for a woman, as he considered a woman as competent as a man. And we have evidence from his comedies. He is excited, he is joyous, he is very happy over the portrayal of resourceful women in comedies. Or the great heroines in the comedies. Shakespeare, human, could not have considered women as the other. He would have considered them as equal to men, as an equal to a man, not the other. Because this notion of considering a woman the other by men has been propounded by Simone de Beauvoir in her book called The Second Sex, published in 1949. And Shakespeare's brilliant portrayal of women characters in comedies have compelled John Ruskin to praise him with these words. Shakespeare has no heroes, he has only heroines. So what a kind of place Shakespeare has given to the women characters in his comedies. The women characters in tragedy cannot stand before these people. They play a minor role. Women characters in tragedies play a minor role. But Shakespeare allows free play of brilliance in the case of heroines in his comedies who could outshine men. Could we call him a feminist? Why can't we? I hope you would have understood the presentation and the topic, the feminist perspective of Shakespeare's plays. I wish you a very good night. Thank you.